Hello everyone and welcome to the latest instalment of Engine Snacks. I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler and we're taking a look at Drofa Cheng from the TCEC Season 22 League 4, which is actually just finished. The opening was a Blumenfeld Gambit, and black gives up B and A pawns in order to be able to establish a strong centre, and black certainly got that. However, the whole structure is pretty unstable really, especially the c5 pawn. The bishop on c3 is loose. The knight on b4 is kind of dependent on the loose pawn on c5, bishop on c3, so you really do feel that something should happen. But what? Well, Drofa finds some astonishing tactics. Drofa starts off with the move f5, which is really nice. In actual fact, black's forced more or less to play bishop takes f5, but which obviously brings the bishop into the line of the rook, opposing the queen. So we're going to get plenty of opportunities for pins, maybe involving something like g4. After f5, e takes f5 isn't possible because it loosens this pawn on d5, and that actually gives white the opportunity to make use of pretty much everything that's loose in the black position. Queen takes d5 check, exploiting that loose d5 pawn, winning the bishop on c5 with a huge material advantage. So bishop takes f5 played, and now the really beautiful point behind this idea. Rook f3, not at all obvious. I don't know. Would I see it? I'm not sure. The rook is just putting itself on a good square, but lining up for an amazing tactic. And it's just a tactic that seems really, really hard for black to stop. Actually, nigh on impossible. Black played the move rook c8, and now rook takes c3 was played. Now e4 with the same idea of opening up the line of the rook on the bishop on c3 would just allow bishop d4 check, and black's doing great. So we have to play rook takes c3 first, but after queen c3 we play e4, and the line of the rook is opened against the queen. That's why you took the bishop on c3, and of course because we dragged the bishop to f5, e takes f5 is now a threat. And once you take on f5, well, you saw what happened once black has to play e takes f5. We'll take the knight on b4, we'll take the pawn on d5, everything's dropping. So, but black isn't helpless by any means. Black has the move queen c2. And at first sight, this looks like black has saved itself because the bishop on a3 is hanging. So if you play e takes f5, I go knight takes a3, and not only have I taken a bishop, I'm even attacking the bishop on b5. I mean, white's probably still better in this position, but black's well on the way to surviving this. But we play bishop takes c5 here, attacking the rook on f8. So of course bishop e4, rook takes f8 check would be very strong because of course this pawn's a runner. But after d takes e4, again black's gaining a tempo on this rook on f3, so it looks as if black's escaping. But we go rook f1, and now the problem is can you waste a tempo getting this rook safe? You would think that it would be possible, but in fact after rook f7, white has the lovely idea g4, bishop g6, and then knight d6. Rook f1, king f1, with the stunning idea that rook c5 allows a7, and the knight on d6 covers the c8 square, so no hope of stopping that one. And after you go rook f8 check, king e2, actually I've just got the easy idea of playing a7, bishop c6, and a8 queen. And you'll notice that this knight on c2 is completely dominated by the bishop on c5. It can't go anywhere. I mean, black's got one more thing that he might want to try, e3, a7, rook f2 check, but after king d1, white's just completely cool. The bishop's covering any of the nastier squares, and this pawn is coming through to queen. So, what did Cheng do? Cheng played e3, but after takes knight d4, a little bit of tactical interlude there, but knight d6 is very strong. Rook f8, bishop c4, king h7, rook e1. White is picking up the e3 pawn, can't hold that one, and two passed pawns on the queen side and a super strong knight. That was more than enough for Drofa to pick up the win. Really nice game, really nice tactics from Drofa, which also seems to be a favourite to qualify for League 3. Doing very well at the moment. Great games.